Hey guys, Scripture here with another video, and I never got a chance to touch on the Galactic Starcruiser. This is kind of the final word on this. I did do one video a while ago when it initially was announced that they were closing it down. And I know a lot of you guys have heard about this stuff before, but I wanted to give you my take, maybe give a different spin on it as to a big reason why it failed. So I watched this video of these people going through it, and it's so anticlimactic. It looks very sort of plain. It's not, there's no wear on anything. It's too clean. It literally just looks like a regular hotel, just with like a couple lights and stuff that make it seem Star Warsy. That's pretty much all it is. And then there was the food, and most of the food just looked like regular food. They didn't really put a whole lot of effort in. Oh, look, it's Ray's bread ball. Like, that's literally, like, they didn't really do much. Like, okay, great. Like, you stuffed a cookie. Like, none of it looks that great. It just kind of looks like a normal hotel, you know, or a high-end hotel, right? Like, that you would go to, or a high-end cruise ship. That's actually maybe more, like, that's just a salmon piece with rice. Like, that's just a flatbread. It doesn't, there's no alien-looking thing about it or anything like that. Oh, look, it's a tray, but it has these two sticky outy parts. Like, it's just a tray. And, of course, they have to have the green and blue milk. And it's like, do you see it, guys? Do you see the milk? See it? It just isn't, like, look, it's spaghetti and meatballs and Ray bread. And then you see space on a TV screen, and I don't know, it just doesn't, it's... And they do give you, like, these little, like, assignments and to make it feel like you're, like, part of this. And you gotta go, you pick your mission and you go around. And, I mean, okay. I mean, it's not terrible in that regard. Like, it gives you stuff to do and stuff like that. But there's something really missing with this. Really, really, really missing with. And there's, you know, the girl, Greedo. Which they did a really good job. Don't get me wrong. Even the voice is pretty cool. They did stuff. Some of this stuff is pretty cool, but overall, there are not enough aliens. Like for this to be a very immersive thing. There's a Twi'lek. There's her, and then just about everybody else I've seen. This is a 4-hour video these people made. Everybody else is just a person. Oh, she's blue. Like there's Kathleen Kennedy. Like that. Like, that's what you get mostly is just people in makeup, and there is a Wookiee, and then there's, like I said, there's the Greedo, and then there's the Twi'lek, and that's it. Like there's nothing that's just a bunch of regular people. So how is that really immersive, right? Like when you're watching Star Wars and you go into the cantina on Mos Eisley, it is replete with aliens. Like way more aliens than regular humans. Like, way more. Like, at least twice as many. At least. Probably more than that. Probably like 8 out of 10 people in that cantina were aliens. So, this is just so bare minimum, like, blah. And then you get stormtroopers, and of course they're First Order stormtroopers. It's just... You know, they have R2 units, but no R2-D2. Why would you not have R2-D2 in there? And this goes to one of my points about this whole thing that's so stupid, that the mistake that they made is that they didn't make it OT-based. In my view, like, the OT was where the money was at. So, Gen Xers and Boomers are the older people that have more money right now. Not Generation Zs. Yeah, there's some millennials that have some money. And I think they were trying to appeal to, like, oh, you're an Xer, bring your kids. Or you're an older millennial, bring your kids. But the problem is like, not enough people like the sequel trilogy. And the whole thing was based on the sequel trilogy. I'm trying to understand why there was nothing OT in there at all. Like, nothing. That made absolutely no sense to me. Why wouldn't you have Luke, Leia? Why wouldn't you have Han? Like, imagine if you walked into the bar area, so they have, like, a bar in there, and Han and Chewie are sitting at a table at the back. That's an experience. And you see them and you're like, oh my gosh, and maybe you can go up and talk to them. And then also, find actors that look and sound like the person. No offense to the girl who plays Rey, but it just doesn't work. She doesn't look enough like Daisy Ridley, no offense. But even if she did, you're appealing to who? Because the sequel trilogy is not appealing to the people with all the money, the Gen Xers and the Boomers. So, I mean, there's a few, but not enough, obviously, to keep this place afloat and pay the amount of money they wanted you to pay. So it's just kind of, they totally missed the boat there. That was the answer, was OT based. I honestly believe if they had made it OT based, even with it's too clean and some of the acting was bad and stuff like that, it probably would have made way more money. Like, not probably, it would have. Like, not even close. The other thing that's kind of lame about it is you don't really go anywhere. Like, there's this one mission, quote, to Batuu. And, like, the whole point of, like, a starship is to go visit places, right? Basically, these people were just cooped up in this Starcruiser, which feels small the entire time. And then the whole Batuu thing, it's really just like it's like an amusement park vendor area, and then they give you some mission on your little cell thing, and you go around, and it's kind of meh, and that's it. And, like, what Disney should have done, if they were going to charge this much money, first of all, obviously, like I said, it should have been OT, but have the ship land in different areas. Find a way to make that work, even if it means building more, but do something. Like, even Batuu, it's just like this sort of general a Galaxy's Edge, causeway. Like, it's not even really that spectacular. It's kind of meh. Why wouldn't you have, like, some crazy plan? Like, why didn't you land on Tatooine? I know people are like, oh, there's too much Tatooine, but in an immersive experience like this, what if you landed on Tatooine and went to the Mos Eisley Cantina? That was part of this. It would have made so much money, it would have been ridiculous. And maybe that's where you have Han and Chewie sitting at the table, right? That would have been incredible. And then, like I said, aliens everywhere. It just felt like they just kind of did the bare minimum, and there was very few aliens and no OT, no nothing. Yeah, and then the Rey character takes you to this room, and it's a holocron, and you sit there, and then Yoda talks to you through a hologram. Wouldn't it have been cooler if Yoda was actually there, if it was an OT-based ride, and he was actually there, and it wasn't Rey, and then some hologram of Yoda? And would have been totally doable with a puppet. Totally doable. So, again, it's chintzy. Everything's chintzy and cheap and crappy and not OT-based at all. Nothing. And then the battle between Rey and Kylo sucks so bad. It looks very closed in. There's not enough room for them to really move around properly. And the sparks they tried to have fly from the railing aren't timed right. And then there's a point where it's supposed to look like she's blocking blaster shots, but the timing's totally off and the sparks don't work. It doesn't work at all. And the fighting and the choreography is just not good. I don't understand how this is what they came up with. Everything Disney does with Star Wars is Bush League. This could have been so awesome if they had done it properly. And at the end, people are pulling out their phones to film the TV screen with the fake fireworks. I don't know. It just doesn't... It's just lame. So I'm not sure... I think didn't this thing cost like $1 billion or something to make? So this goes down as maybe the biggest failure of Disney Star Wars, is this stupid thing. According to a new story from The Wrap, the Galactic Starcruiser won't be transformed into an expansion for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge or any other guest-facing operation. Instead, the plan is to make the building offices for Walt Disney Imagineering, the arm of the Walt Disney Company tasked with creating its theme park experiences. Now just imagine working in there with no windows. Just this stuffy, crappy-looking sequel trilogy ship with no windows, just stuffy. Ugh, no thanks. That'd be horrible. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe they have to put windows for fire code. But then I'm like, wait, they don't have windows now or they didn't for this quote attraction. So they must have met fire codes. And then I don't think they can use it as an attraction anymore, because I think to write it off, it has to be part of like the offices. It has to be part of like an expense that they're going to use. Like it's an expense to be used to make more attractions. I think that's the case. Let me know if you're from Florida. I'm not really sure. I might be wrong, but I think that's why they had to turn it into an office, to be able to write off some of the losses on their taxes. I mean, do they really need a massive office building with tons of rooms? No. Clearly, they meant for it to be a hotel, so I think that's why they're doing. Whether or not anyone actually has offices in there, they'll probably throw a handful of people in there. Who knows? This is the most depressing place to work ever. It's just all closed in with no windows. It's like sending Milton down to the storage room in Office Space, or down to the furnace room. That's literally what it would feel like to me. Just all closed in. Anyways, guys, this thing sucked. Like, watching these videos and touring it with these people, the whole thing was such a waste. So you're paying all that money, thousands upon thousands of dollars. You're getting a couple of aliens, a Twi'lek, I know I call them a Greedo, I always forget what they're called. And then a Wookiee, Rey, Kylo, and a handful of First Order stormtroopers. That's what you're getting from things you've ever seen in the movies. That's what you're getting. Everybody else is just these new things they made up for the hotel. So you're getting literally 5 sort of characters, right? Because, well, there might have been more than 2 stormtroopers. Like, whatever. You're getting a handful, maybe 10 actual things. No aliens. Hardly any aliens, I should say. 3 aliens. And then everybody else is humanoid. And Rey and Kylo. Yay. And then, no Luke, no Leia, no Vader, no Palpatine, no Chewie, no Han. No nothing. Just this ragtag bunch of sequel trilogy nonsense, and Kathleen Kennedy in blueface. Like, what were they thinking? It's awful. I can't believe how bad it is. Like, I knew it was bad. I read up on it. But seeing the footage from these people, what a crappy experience. Oh, man. What a waste. Can you imagine how cool it would have been if it had been OT-based? Thing would have been just packed. And if they had actually done a good job and put more aliens and made it more immersive and not just like quasi-Star Wars. Anyways, let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like, subscribe. Always helps the channel. Feel free to check anything else on my channel. Have yourselves a really good day.